If you look at verse 24, if you look at verse 24, it says what we're talking about. As it is written, God's name has been blasphemed among the Gentiles. And then what's the rest of the sentence there? Why has the name of God been blasphemed among the people who don't know God? Because of
us.
Yeah. It says because of you. Did yours say because of us, David?
No, it says because of you.
Yeah.
What?
You're the reason. Because of you is what it said. Yeah. So those people who don't know God, they got sense enough to know a fake, a liar, someone who says they're a Christian, but you're not living like it. But here in Romans 2, the whole, the context is these Jewish people who were becoming believers in Christ were saying, hey, you Gentiles, you people who are not Jews, if you're going to be a follower of Jesus, you got to be circumcised. You got to jump through the Jewish hoops that we've set up. You got to check that box. And if you don't, you can't be a Christian. So
it's gonna be hard though, because they've been following all these rules. It's like everybody just gets a free pass. I could see them feeling like that doesn't seem fair.
Right. Yeah, and so who's the one who didn't get a free pass? Well, my answer was Jesus. But the truth is, who does? No, nobody gets a free pass. I mean, in a secularized mind, they think that we're getting a free pass.
Well, I guess I didn't mean maybe that wasn't the right phrasing, but
okay, sorry.
They thought that. Oh yeah, but now, like they've gone through all these years of rules and
rituals
and strictness that they obeyed to, and now come to find out that the person next to them that didn't go through that can move forward just the same way that they can.
Right. And
so I could see how they feel like, well, that's just not
so
fair.
the question, that's exactly right. And so the question for us today is, am I going to let my friend who's struggling with sin or struggling with understanding who Jesus is, am I going to let him move forward and come to Christ? Or am I going to put roadblocks in his way, like you got to be this and you got to do that? And you can't be that and do that anymore. There's some truth to that though, right? Y'all understand that? Because that's the tension of following Jesus. I do know with perfect clarity, when I start following Jesus, if my relationship with him is authentic, right? I'm really born again. I am not going to want to continue in sin, right?
Right.
Paul said, we're going to get to it in a few chapters in Romans 7, the good that I want to do, I don't do it. But the evil that I hate, I find myself doing that. And so we know that there's that tension there. of I have given my life to Christ, but I'm still affected by sin. I still have my old nature. I still have my old habits. I still have my old way of thinking. So now the question becomes, am I going to make excuses so I can say that I'm born again, but I'm going to keep on with my sin, right? Because I'm forgiven. I got a free pass. I could just keep on sinning because I want grace. This is what Paul says later also. Am I going to keep sinning so that I can just get more grace? No. I mean, a truly born again person is going to go, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I've come into a relationship with a holy God who loves me. He died for me. My sin is clear. His love and holiness and forgiveness is there and clear, and I understand that. I am not going to continue in sin. I'm going to trust the Spirit of God that's in me to help me, like Paul says, work out my salvation. I'm going to work out what God has worked into me. I'm going to live out what God has, the Spirit of God that now dwells in me as a believer. I'm not gonna. Man, that's a real clear sign of a born again person is they do not want to continue in sin and make excuses for it. They're gonna clearly recognize the battle, right? I mean, because a person who says they're born again, but they're constantly making excuses. I mean, that just doesn't make sense. That you say you're born again, you say you love God, but man, you're just headlong, you're just full bore in continuing in sin. That doesn't make sense. And even a lost person can see that. So there in verse 24 in Romans 2:24, God's name is blasphemed among the Gentiles, and it's your fault. Man, that's strong right there.